So,
But it can also be anti almost any other Christian tradition other than that one.
right, but it's specifically anti-Catholic
Sure.
because, of course, we always viewed the Pope as the Antichrist. The Catholic Church was the harlot of Babylon from Revelation 17. And so very much steeped in that sort of mentality. And the Jack Chick tracks, I'm sure you're familiar with. And so being steeped in that and getting involved in lay ministry, it was soon suggested to me, well, maybe you're being called to preach. So I went down to Pensacola Christian College in Pensacola, which is one of the bastions of hardline fundamentalism nowadays, King James only, right down the line. And while I was there, I met my wife, Trudy, who was a lifelong independent fundamental Baptist, and that's kind of a story in itself, because her mother was just thrilled that her daughter was going to be marrying a Baptist preacher, and that came back on me later on when we became Catholic.
Oh, yeah,
So,
right.
But spent about 9 years in ordained ministry as a Baptist minister. When our son Jonathan was born in '91, I felt very strongly the need to get involved in pro-life work, because I'd always been nominally pro-life up to that point, but I never really did anything with it. So,
As a rule, are fundamentalist Baptists committed to the pro-life movement?
yes, they tend to be very pro-life, but they're very reluctant to get involved with anything social in that way, because it takes away from the mission of getting people saved. Years ago, there was a radio preacher, J. Vernon McGee.
Oh, of course.
And
He's still on.
He is still on.
Yeah.
He's still with us. And he had a catchphrase he used, that you don't polish brass on a sinking ship. So the idea is that if you get involved in anything besides soul winning, besides door knocking, besides personal evangelism, then it's a waste of time, because the rapture is going to take place any minute. We're all going to be out of here. The world's going to end up in the hands of the Antichrist. So why bother? Let it burn, let it go down. Just don't try to affect anything. Well, when I started getting involved in pro-life work, my fellow Baptist church members basically laughed at me. They thought I was wasting my time, especially when in due course I ended up, shall we say, in jail for some of the activities. I was the the director of the Charlotte, North Carolina branch of Operation Rescue. In the course of that, I met Paul Shank, whom you had on the program a number of times.
Now Father Paul Shank.
Yes, he and I have been in jail together.